President Trump's no tax on tips. Both parties were actually talking about this, and hopefully this will still go. This will go through no matter what. But man, that's a great thing. Great thing. No tax on tips. Hey, this is Jeff at Below Average. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. After when doing some research on this is going to be a little interesting. There's many different ways they're mentioning that the government could go about this. Hopefully that's just the simplest thing. But the one thing you will still have to do is this does not exempt you from state taxes. And I'm sure it's not going to exempt you from Social Security and Medicare. It would be strictly federal taxes only. But after doing some research, I'm a little surprised at how much some of these waitresses / waiters actually can make. I gotta assume that's pretty wide range, but I did a lookup in Michigan, actually in the Grand Rapids area, and ZipRecruiter is saying that the average waiter waitress makes $15 an hour plus tips. I'm not sure how accurate that is. It seems higher than what I would have thought, but they're actually within a couple of dollars an hour what the average factory worker makes here in the Grand Rapids or Western Michigan area. So I would say as long if you can get the amount of hours that you'll need, not a bad job. But let's get into this where I usually like to do, since this is below average. I usually like to try to find ways for people to be able to save for their retirement or just save money to pay their monthly bills. So obviously this one is a little difficult because you can't nail down exactly what somebody's going to be getting or how this is distributed out. But I'm looking at that somebody who's doing, I would say, heavily part-time to full-time hours has got to be making anywhere from a big range from $5,000 to $10,000 a year on tips. Just think of an average night of 5-6 hours, or something like that. 2 or 3 people sitting down at just one booth, and you probably have several, 3 or 4 you're taking care of. This one actually could be on the low side, especially if you do well at serving. But if we go on the very low side, because we're going to include part-time people on this, that you could actually have about $5,000 a year, and that's on the low side, I would assume, for your tips. Well, based off of that approximate number, and this all depends on the tax bracket you're in and everything else, but you definitely look at it saving $500 to $600 a year on not paying federal taxes. Now, I don't know about you, but that's still, for not doing anything anymore, that's still good money. And here's the key. It's not that, well, what's $500-600 going to do for me? What's $500 or $50 a month going to do for me? Well, once again, you look back at, you invest it. And if you invest $50 a month from the savings from not paying taxes on the tax tip scenario, that you could be looking at in 30 years, approximately $170,000 saved for retirement. Now I know people that are older than me that are retiring or that have retired that never even retired on that kind of money. And I'm talking about somebody who's taking a job that they're doing now, and because the federal government looks like they're going to step in and eliminate the tax on the tip, federal only, that this is the kind of money you can save. So you need to end up implementing that. When this happens, hopefully your employer has some kind of savings. That's the easiest way to go about it. If they do, go right in there and already figure out how much more percentage I need to have taken out to put into the 401k to be able to do this, because you won't see any difference. You'll be doing exactly what you've always done. If you have to do it on the side, it's always hard to do that. It's always much harder, but please go ahead, still do it. Have to open up an account, put the money in a savings account for a short term till you have enough built up to be able to go to a financial advisor or place to be able to actually open up a secondary investment. And don't stick it in CDs. They ain't gonna do nothing long term. But so this is just over 30 years. Now I know a lot of people, this is a job they probably can't do forever, and I don't know the structure of hours or anything else, but any money saved without you having to do anything more than what you're already doing is an awesome thing. This will help out obviously the lower bracket of individuals that are working, and so this is perfect. This is for the part-time person. This could be an individual who might not be part of the tips because they made a little bit more per hour doing something else. Might now step in and help out and become a waitress or a waiter, even if it's part-time, because they can make more money serving and using the tips and not paying the federal taxes than whatever they were doing ahead of time. If it's in the back cooking, I'm not quite sure how that whole process works. But once again, it's a plus for the American worker. It is a smaller segment of the American worker, but I'm sure it's an area that employers love because they're a little bit tougher to find good people to consistently stay for a while because how tough the job is. And this is just an added benefit that the employer don't take upon and the employee don't take upon themselves. This is just something the federal government will eliminate, which is a win-win for everybody. And remember, both parties were talking about doing this. Now, let's just have this, when Trump takes over, just get it done so they can see the nice savings. And this goes hand in hand, and it is nice, and it goes along with the no tax on overtime. Hopefully, that is a different one. I have not seen much about it, but that one needs to go through too. Plus, there is a few others that are coming down the pike. How about being able to write off the interest on possibly the car payment that you have? And I know a lot of people have car payments that shouldn't have one. They can't afford it. They can't do nothing. But if you can end up writing off the interest that they used to do back in I think in the 70s, that's a bonus. Huge, huge push to the car industry, to union workers here in Michigan and across the board will have a positive impact from this scenario. So if you can please like, subscribe, and comment down below. I'd love to know if you're a waiter or waitress or you know somebody, approximately what you make on an hourly basis and what you get for tips, because I never knew anybody in this field. I always assumed it was definitely all entry level, and people didn't last long because of everything dealing with it. But I gotta believe there's some full-time people out there, especially if you're in Nevada, huge in Nevada. I'm sure that that this scenario is going to be a positive for a large workforce out there. But if anybody can please just give me an idea of what people make in this area. I looked it up and I don't know how accurate it is here in Western Michigan, but 15 an hour plus tips for those waitresses and waiter jobs. Well, we'll see. Thanks for listening and have a great night.